Okay, this last video for order of operations, we're going to cover these two cases, 5 and 6, when you have fractions. And you have a bunch of order of operations in the top and bottom. The fraction bars, they act as a set of parentheses. Now, we know the parentheses, that's the very first thing you do in order of operations. Now, what I mean by that is number 5, they never give you the parentheses or grouping symbols. But number 5, another way of writing this probably makes more sense. I'm going to put grouping symbols around everything in the top and everything in the bottom. What that means is when you have a fraction bar, use order of operations for the numerator, get an answer, and then use order of operations for the denominator and get an answer. The very last thing you're going to do is divide, which is what a fraction bar means. So it's almost like you have two problems in one. So if I look at number 5, well, the top's pretty easy. I only have one operation. 7 times 4, that's 28. But in the bottom, there's a little bit more thinking going on. In the bottom, I want to use order of operations. I have addition, I have subtraction, but then I also have this exponent. Now, exponent, that's what we're going to do first. So 7 squared, that's like saying 7 times 7, that's 49. So that's going to be 8 plus 49, and then minus 1. And then if I look in the bottom, addition, and I have subtraction. So that is the same priority at step 3 in PEMDAS. So I just work left to right. So I can just add these. Let's see here. 8 plus 49 is what? 57. And then 57 minus 1 is 56. So I still have 28 up top. I get 56 in the bottom. Then the very last thing you do is divide. And that fraction can simplify. 28 is actually half of 56. So this reduces to 1/2. Okay, let's move over to 6. 6 looks a little bit more complicated. So when I do 6, kind of already have the parentheses or the grouping symbols for the top. I'm going to put this in the bottom. So what that means is I'm going to evaluate each of these separately. The very last thing is you divide whatever the numerator is divided by the denominator. So right up here, I'm just going to do the top, the numerator. Let's see, I'm going to do what's in parentheses. So I see right away, if I subtract a negative, that becomes a positive. So really, this becomes -1 plus 4, and then that quantity squared. All right, so -1 plus 4, that's 3. And then 3 squared is 3 times 3, which is 9. So I'm going to put this down here. 9's the top. Now, let's take care of the bottom. And what should stand out is this grouping symbol. I do that first. So let's see here. I'm just going to write this 3 minus 4 squared plus 2. And then this is -2 minus -10. Remember, it's add a line, change the sign. It's like saying -2 plus 10, which is 8. So I'm going to put 8. Okay, then if I look, let's say I have subtraction, addition, I have multiplication, but then I also have exponents. So exponents takes priority there. So 4 squared, that's going to give me 16. So I have 3 minus 16 plus 2 times 8. Okay, then I have subtraction, addition, and then remember this, nothing's written, it's multiplication. Multiplication comes before addition and subtraction. So I'm going to do 2 times 8, which is 16. So then we get 3 minus 16 plus 16. And then I can just work left to right. 3 minus 16 is -13. And then -13 plus 16 is 3. So you can see that took a lot of work to get the bottom there. But the denominator is 3, so I'm going to put that in the bottom. And then 9 divided by 3, you divide very last step. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So really, when you have fraction bars, they act really as two problems. Use order of operations for the top, or the numerator, then use order of operations for the bottom, which is the denominator. Then the very last thing you do is divide.